It's all about adjusting for the Saints while in London. From the time change to the up and down weather, how quickly you adapt can make all the difference.
I think for anybody, it's really, hey, get adjusted to the time change as quick as possible.
Just want to get out of the hotel for a little bit and, take a look around.
Which is exactly what the team did today, beginning with their visit to the London Eye. The one day when players were allowed to get out and about and see the city, many of them didn't, and the few that did said they wouldn't be out very long.
Different. Well, I've been to Paris before, so,
it's a tube ride over from London.
Yeah, you're right, but it's definitely different, but I know we're enjoying it.
And for the majority of the Saints players, this trip to London is like venturing into the unknown. Luckily, they have a teammate to lean on for guidance.
Shockey was with the Giants last year, played in this game, so he's been a source of information for some guys.
You can tell he's been over here because the second we got off the plane and got to the airport, everyone recognized him like that and wanted pictures with him. So they know him here, obviously.
When you're in a place like this, you'd like to be able to experience it a little bit, and enjoy it. But certainly we're here to win a football game, and that's first and foremost.
With the Saints in London, I'm Juan Kincaid, Eyewitness Sports Night Watch.
For Sunday's game against the Chargers. Tuesday is usually a player's day off. Eric Ritchie shows us how some of them kept busy.
From Buckingham Palace, the official London residence of the British monarch, to the Parliament building, even to Big Ben, London's most historic and best-known landmarks. Welcome to an absolutely gorgeous day here in London. I'm Eric Ritchie. For the Saints, this is a week that is supposed to be as normal as possible. So it's a Tuesday, and Coach Payton gave the players the day off. Many took advantage by relaxing, staying close to the team hotel, some 25 miles just outside of London, but others were feeling a little bit more adventurous.
Is it snow here?
Several Saints players touring the sights of downtown London. With one stop, players got a chance to see it all. Welcome to the London Eye.
Right now, we're about to take a pretty scary deal right now. I don't know how high this deal is. We're about to go on. Yeah.
What have you heard about this thing, Aaron?
Well, they say you can see at least 25 miles out, so it'll be a good deal for us.
Back in Louisiana, no question, Saints fans are still feeling a bit jilted, losing a home game at the Superdome. But this trip, a chance to take the NFL global, and for the city of New Orleans, a chance to receive international exposure.
I think for the most part, guys have kind of been, the way that we are. We have good character guys on the team, and I think the people that we've come in contact with appreciate that. We've been trying to be friendly, and we're just being who we are. We're not trying to do anything other than that, and I think throughout the week, the people in London will see that.
And for the players who did make it out on their day off, what did they think of London?
What stands out to me is just the history of the city. It's an old city, and the buildings are beautiful and they're old, and Big Ben was really fun. It was really cool to see that stuff, and just the history and the culture of the city is just amazing of how old it is, and just all the things that have gone on in London. It's awesome to see.
It may be a day off for the players, but we're just getting started. Coming up in sports, we'll tell you why one Saints player feels sorry for the San Diego Chargers, and we'll introduce you to the Saints' new punter. That's all coming up in sports, but for now, that's all. I'm Eric Ritchie with the Saints in London, England for Fox 8 Sports.
Now, the water may look identical to the Mississippi River, but we're obviously a long way from home. Good evening, everybody. I'm Fletcher Mackel, and we are on the River Thames, standing on the famed London Bridge. Now, today was an off day for the Saints players, and while many decided to stay in their English countryside resort, licking their wounds, so to say, after Sunday's horrible defeat, about a dozen or so players decided to hit the town and see all the amazing things London has to offer. From the Tower of London to Buckingham Palace to Big Ben, the Saints did what I guess you could call the Cliff Notes version of London in a day.
Well, it's just going to be a superficial thumbnail scratch of London for us.
But for offensive tackle John Stinchcomb and the 6 teammates that joined him on this tour, it was all worthwhile.
It's worth it just to get out here and do the London Eye and Buckingham Palace, Big Ben, Parliament. I mean, there's a lot of history here.
The team members on this trip spent most of their time at the London Eye, which is the biggest observational wheel in the world. It stands 430 feet, and on a clear day, you can see 25 miles away.
Yeah, it kind of puts life in perspective for you, that there's more to life than just the game.
You're not afraid of heights, are you? It is pretty high up there.
No, I think I'll be okay. You might have to ask some of these other guys if they're going to, wet their pants or not.
Everyone came off the London Eye just fine, and of course with a sense of humor.
Hey, that's a great hat for a great head. Y'all see this dude's head?
I'm not quite sure what Fred McAfee's talking about, because this hat looks pretty good if you ask me. Saints back at practice on Wednesday afternoon. Coming up in sports, we're going to hear how players say they'll adjust to life without Reggie Bush, who's of course out for the next 2 to 4 weeks due to a knee injury. For now though, on your side in London with the Saints, I'm Fletcher Mackel, WDSU News Channel 6.
New Orleanians still need a translator.
Good evening from London, England, everybody. I'm Fletcher Mackel, leaving the subway station, or the underground, or the tube as they call it here in London. We gave up on driving on the wrong side of the road. Plenty more on that coming up at 6. Also at 6, a breakdown of the Saints. They were back on the practice field today. Find out who practiced and who didn't. That's coming up at 6 o'clock. But now, though, since the Saints, our Saints from New Orleans, are here in London playing a very important NFL game, we decided to stop some of these great people on the street and see what they know about our unique culture, our unique food, and the way we talk. And it was a very interesting day. Okay, easy question here. Do you know what a yat is?
No idea, mate. None. Got none. I'll tell you what it is in Australia.
What is it in Australia?
A silly person.
Well, you know what? It's very well a silly person. Lots of silly yats in New Orleans.
Yeah. Lots of silly yats in ours as well.
Okay, New Orleans is a city famous for food. Do you know what a beignet is?
No.
What do you think a beignet is?
The what?
A beignet.
I don't know what is that.
Okay, you're obviously a soccer fan. You live here in the United Kingdom. But what do you know about American football? Like, for instance, how many points are a touchdown worth?
No, we, over here, I haven't got a clue.
Do you know what jambalaya is?
Jambalaya?
Yeah.
No.
No clue?
No.
Okay, what about etouffee?
Etouffee? No.
No clue. Okay, let me just ask you one final question here, and don't run off. I promise this is nothing rude or crude or dirty. If I ask you, do you pinch the tail and suck the head, do you know what that means?
Yeah, I do, I think.
I don't know if you do. I really don't. I think we're thinking two different things.
Well, it's quite rude, isn't it?
All right, here's your question. If I say, where you at? What does that mean?
Where are you?
Very good. If I say, who dat? What does that mean?
Who's that?
You are excellent today. How about this? Who dat say they gonna beat them Saints?
I ain't got a clue what you're talking about.
You know what? Who's gonna beat the Saints? No one, right? Not the Chargers.
Definitely not the Chargers.
Excellent answer. And now that's a good man. He knows that our Saints are going to beat the Chargers on Sunday. Now, Drew Brees used to play for the Chargers. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we're going to hear from him what he says about going against the team that really gave up on him. And coming up tonight at 10, an exceptional story. We're going to take you behind the scenes of the 5-star resort. Talk about lifestyles of the rich and famous, the resort that the Saints are calling home this week. That's coming up tonight at 10. For now, though, on your side in London with the Saints, I'm Fletcher Mackel, WDSU News Channel 6.
And our London calling coverage continues.
Nestled in the countryside in Hertfordshire, England, some 20 miles northwest of London, this 5-star hotel transforming this week into the New Orleans Saints England headquarters. Hi again, everyone. I'm Eric Ritchie, and no doubt the Grove has it all, including room for a practice facility, which the Saints took full advantage of this morning, implementing the game plan for Sunday's game with the Chargers. So even though the location had a surreal feel to it, there they were in their black and gold glory, practicing, warming up, stretching, going through a full normal Wednesday practice. Treating this like a business trip, the main objective is to return home with a win. As far as missing out on a home game in New Orleans, well, the Saints continue to take advantage of the international stage to promote the city.
I think that, post-Katrina, maybe a lot of people have kind of forgotten about New Orleans or think that, there's still so much damage there that it's not worth going, which there are a lot of things that still need to be done. Obviously, we know that. But in a lot of ways, I think New Orleans has come back better than ever. And just like London is one of those spots that, everybody feels like they need to visit when they come to Europe, well, New Orleans is one of those spots that, you know, if you're European or you know you're from the UK and you're going to the States and you want to know places to go, hey, come to New Orleans, because I think the culture is unlike any other in our country, and certainly we want to share that with the world.
Getting back to the five-star hotel the Saints are staying in, the Grove has been one of England's chic places to stay since the 18th century. This week, a ballroom has been converted into a locker room. And this week's food order at the Grove will include 1,899 prime beef burgers, 984 extra large eggs, 450 pints of milk, and 900 extra chickens.
These gentlemen, as you know very well, are big guys. So just organizing the sort of volumes that they require to keep themselves in shape, that's been a challenge for us.
Now, coming up later in sports, we'll talk more about the actual Saints practice today. We'll have updates on Jeremy Shockey's injury situation and the return of Jamar Nesbitt. That's all coming up later in sports, but for now, that's all. I'm Eric Ritchie with the Saints in Hertfordshire, England for Fox 8 Sports.
Crikey, not bad. Here's hoping the Saints not get through the hole like that as well on Sunday. Right now, we're at the Saints training facility in an area called Watford, which is located about 30 minutes away from London. It is an area where also they have the Watford Hornets, a Championship League soccer team, but they're staying in a place called the Grove. I want to kind of give you a little bit of a tour. As we turn camera left here, we got the teepee. Not sure if this is one of the players' homes or not, but you never know. On the other side of the teepee, a little recreational volleyball, shower set. It's almost like a campground, so to speak, which is located right next to the croquet lot, which is where I was playing, getting my croquet on. Now, give you an example of what's going on here. This is where the Saints will train today. We'll train tomorrow as well. They're practicing up on the training field, which is beyond this brick wall. It's kind of like a castle with a bit of a fortress wall to it. Practice was open for about 15, 20 minutes earlier this morning with the Saints. They kicked us all out, so we had to come back down here to find our place. They'll practice for another about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and we'll talk to the players after that's over as well. Now, after the players are done practicing and done talking with us, they'll go back to their hotel, which is located beyond the wall, which is beyond the volleyball court, beyond the teepee, and they'll reside there. They're going to stay in this hotel at the Grove until Friday, at which time they'll venture a little bit closer to Wembley Stadium for the last few days of their trip here. That's pretty much it. So thank you for joining us here. Reporting from London with the Saints, I'm Juan Kincaid. Now back to you. The Saints have come to London and found themselves a brand new quarterback. In Drew Brees' jersey, number 9, David James, the England goalkeeper. Yeah, it's just an advertisement, but you get the idea. This is how this local area is advertising this NFL game to its fans.
You have the sports stars from here, you know, wearing our gear and kind of showing support. I think that's cool.
The fans over here have gotten real excited about American football, and you know, I watched television last night. There's all sorts of news and information, not only about this game but our sport in general. And you know, I think again, us traveling over here, both teams will travel well with their fans. But we expect obviously a great crowd. It's a great venue to play. You know, we're honored to play there. So. We're looking forward to getting all the English support we can and some of those loud chants while the Chargers have the ball.
And with Reggie Bush being out for this weekend's game, Drew Brees said it's imperative that he gets the most out of both Shockey and Colston, as well as the rest of his offensive teammates. With the Saints in London, I'm Juan Kincaid, Channel 4 Eyewitness Sports.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Fletcher Mackel, and yes, I am on an American football field, but I'm obviously nowhere close to America. The Saints here staying this week in Hertfordshire, England, and this field was built by the luxury resort where they're staying so they could practice right here on the grounds. Now, a few news and notes from practice today. Jeremy Shockey, Reggie Bush, Will Smith, Mike McKenzie, and several others did not practice, but head coach Sean Payton says he expects Bush, obviously who had surgery, to be the only starter to miss any significant playing time. The Saints do get an upgrade on defense. Rookie defensive tackle Cedric Ellis, who missed the past 3 games, will start this weekend against the Chargers.
I felt pretty good. You know, it's just a matter of getting back in shape, running around on his knee, getting it loosened up, you know, getting some of the swelling out, and that'll all come with more practice days.
Also back for the Saints this week, offensive lineman Jamar Nesbitt. Nesbitt was, of course, suspended by the NFL for 4 games without pay for violating the league's substance abuse policy. Nesbitt will, of course, be blocking for quarterback Drew Brees. And one of the big storylines here in London, the fact that Brees is facing his former team, the San Diego Chargers, the club that, in essence, gave up on him 3 years ago.
You know, there might be that extra added motivation to, you know, win or put more pressure on myself, but I'm really not. You know, I mean, I'm really trying to approach this as just another game that we really need to win.
Now, it wasn't all work and serious business here on the gridiron for the Saints today. We did have a chance to pull a few players aside and ask them, if you will, about the lighter side of London. Do you like England? Have you tried driving around London now?
No, that's something I want to try it. You know, driving on the other side of the road with the steering wheel opposite. I mean, it seems like a pretty good adjustment to make.
It's a very hard adjustment. We gave our rental car back, and do you know what you need to drive in London if you're American?
What's that?
You need your football helmet.
It might not be a bad call.
Do I look good in this or what? Do I look good?
It's a pretty good look on you.
Sweet.
You got to strap them up and get ready to go.
Now, coming up tonight in sports at 10 o'clock, we're going to have our weekly chat, the Sports Soup, with Saints tight end Mark Campbell. Call it the UK version of the Sports Soup. Campbell will, of course, give us the inside scoop on fellow tight end Jeremy Shockey. Will he play or won't he? That's coming up tonight at 10. On your side with the Saints in Hertfordshire, England, I'm Fletcher Mackel, WDSU News Channel 6.
All right.